Viewers, this is KVV Harikrishna Reddy. Welcome to HKR Knowledge YouTube channel. In this video, I am going to share knowledge about fundamental rights and I want to explain you about fundamental rights. So basically, what are fundamental rights? So fundamental rights are the rights which are necessary to every citizen in India, and these fundamental rights are mentioned in Indian Constitution. These fundamental rights are mentioned in Indian Constitution. Before going into the topic, please subscribe my YouTube channel HKR Knowledge so that you will get notification as fast as you get. So let's get started our video without any delay. So how many fundamental rights are there? Basically, till 2 to 3 years, in last 2 to 3 years, there are only 7 rights. But recently, the Indian Constitution have changed it to six. Means there are six fundamental rights which are necessary, which should know by us. So how many types? Means six types we have. Those are: first one, right to equality. I will explain one by one in clear manner So let's see. First one, right to equality. This right to equality explains about equality among the people, and it had built up to stop discrimination between the castes. That means discrimination of caste takes place in old days like 1949 and 1960s. But now it is not like that. If it is not like that, means it can't the life can't possible on that. We can't make anything. For example, if you take any construction, it needs so many members to build up, like masons, builders, means building a construction company. So different castes are there. If there is any discrimination between them, the other castes, means the upper castes, will get opportunities, but the lower castes one, what's the position of them? So that is why the Indian Constitution, the Indian government made this. We know that the constitution had been written by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So he is the drafting committee chairman. Next, let's go to second one, right to freedom. Nowadays we are freedom. That means we are free. We can make our things. We can make our work. We can make anything which we want. That means we are very free. That means we are using freedom. We are living in the freedom. So this is only the right to freedom. Okay, this is only the right to freedom. Let's see next one is right against exploitation. This is right against exploitation. So let's see. Third one is right against exploitation. I will explain one by one, one right by one, right, briefly. Next one is right to freedom of religion. That means any religion can pray to their religion gods. That means they can practice their religions on their freedom. Next, fifth one is cultural and educational rights. Cultural and educational rights here describes us that culture, their culture, every Indian can see their culture. That means they can have right to participate in their cultural activities. For example, Dondus are there in some forests near Bhadrachalam. They make dances on some special days. That is their culture. Like these cultures can be practiced by them. That means they can participate in their cultural activities on their own. That means on their freedom, not own. That means they have right to participate in cultural activities. There is no discrimination. There is no restrictions. There is no any banner, that is barricades. There is no any barricades on the cultural activities. This cultural and educational right is a fundamental right which describes this. So next, let's see sixth one. The last fundamental right is right to constitutional remedies. Right to constitutional remedies. Here you can see the right to constitutional remedies means why constitutional remedies, how we can relate to constitutional remedies. Just leave all them. Just listen one thing, that constitutional remedies can be uh, controlled by us. That means yes, you are right, which you have listened now. That is right, because we are the people. We are the people of India, and we are filing some complaints. So that we have that right. That right only described as constitutional remedies. For example, if you have any offense, means if you have any case, if you have any problem, you can go to court and appeal as civil offense or criminal offense, basis on the case. So according to this, we can conclude that we have a right to appeal a case in any court. That means, yeah, you think that there is no right for us to appeal in Supreme Court, but it is wrong. It is totally wrong. There is, you have a right. You can appeal to any court. Either it may be higher, either it may be divisional court or section court or Supreme Court or anything. So, and one thing I want to share, that if you, there are so many levels in courts, mainly local court and then divisional court and high court and Supreme Court. Four courts are there in India. So here, if you want correct judgment, you can go to any court, and the higher court in the India is Supreme Court. It is the it it gives the final decision. It gives the final announcement, and it gives final result of a case. So let's move on. Let's move on. See, so these are six fundamental rights. These are six fundamental rights. Let's see next one. Next one is, where does these rights are mentioned? Where does these rights are mentioned? Means these rights means what? Fundamental rights. So let's see. The fundamental rights are defined in Part 3 of the Indian Constitution from Article 12 to 35. Here, the Constitution is divided into parts, and those parts again divided into articles. I want to make another video on Constitution. I want to make a series on Constitution. I will explain you about articles and constitutions at that time, in those videos. So now I'm going to say only one thing, that the fundamental rights which are described about the people are defined in between of Article 12 to Article 35, and those are situated in Part 3. Part 3. So you know that the Constitution is divided into parts. So in those Part 3, and in that Part 3, Article 12 to 35 describes these fundamental rights. Next, let's see next point. These fundamental rights are built up to ensure equal distribution between people and the justice. People and justice. Here you can see people and justice means, justice means, you know that justice, equal distribution, that is. So here equal distribution means distributing among the people equally. Means the higher one get higher and lower one get lower, not like that. The higher one and lower one get the same thing. For example, there is some plan. For example, there is some scheme. I think you know that scheme PM KYV, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, KVY. So it is distributed among the all people, not higher people and lower people. If they are above, BPL, below the poverty line, it will be distributed. So here we can see equal distribution. This is only mentioned in these rights. And second one is justice, equal justice. If you have any, I have already say just before 1 minute, you can rewind back and you can see that that court, we have right to appeal in any court, right to appeal in any four types of courts. So that is also mentioned in these fundamental rights. So let's move on to next one. Next one is right to equality. I have said that I will explain these one by one. So I have been explaining now. I have just started explaining you. So here, right to equality. The first one is right to equality. The right to equality means the absence of legal discrimination only on grounds of caste, race, religion, sex, and place of birth, and ensures equal rights to all citizens. So according to, we can conclude that according to right to equality, every person has equal rights as compared to another person. So let's see here, on basis of what means, on basis of caste. So members are there which discriminates the castes, like backward castes, like that. So Like that we have to don't make them unequal, we have to see them equally. And during race also, race means in some competitions they give first preference to higher and second preference to lower. Like this we have to say, we have to not do like this. So that is race. And religion, according to religion means Hindus, Christians, any religion, there any religion, you have to give them equality, you have to respect them equally. Maybe either they're Muslim or anything, any religion, either any religion. So let's see second point. And I forgot to say you place of birth. Some members make unequal according to their place of birth. Means if one born at rich city, they say that he is rich, and one born in poor village, he is poor. Here we have to conclude that he is Indian. That means all are equal. No, so we have to make equality in. But some members doesn't make like that. Just now I have said no, they he born in say big city. So this one should be discriminated. That is why this right to equality came to make equal among all the purposes and all the activities among the Indian people. And let's see next one. It is considered basic feature of the Indian Constitution. So I have said that this is the first fundamental right now. So that is why it is considered as basic feature. Basic means what? A base. For example, triangle there means there. For example, there are some 3D shapes like a pyramid or tone. There means there will be a base like that for fundamental rights. This right to equality is also base. That is why basic feature of the Indian Constitution. So let's see where these right to equality noted or pointed. Where this right to equality is mentioned, not noted. So here right to equality is mentioned under Article 14, Article 14 mainly, and under Article 15 also mentioned. But I want to explain 14 because it is the main which you should know compulsory. So first point is the state shall not deny to any person equality before the law or the equal protection of the laws within the territory of India. Means the state shall not deny to any person during equality. Means the state should not discriminate, should not stop any person. Means the state should not make any person unequality. Okay, state means here what states? We know that states are there like Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. So these states. And here within the territory of India means before the law means justice or the equal protection of laws. Means equal protection of laws means there will be IPC section. So according to IPC and according to these fundamental rights, the people are equal under law also. So this is the first point. And second point is Article 14 tries to achieve equality of status for all people. Equality of status means not money or anything. Just equality of status means they're equal among the society. They're equal in the society. This is the second point. And third point is it aims at establishing the rule of law in India. So what is rule of law? Rule of law means all are equal in front of or among the justice. That means among the court. That means in front of the court all people are equal. And the fourth point is this guarantee available to both citizens and non-citizens. So you may get a doubt that you are saying India and fundamental rights. Why are you making non-citizens? Non-citizens means some members are there who came from America or any thing and they marry somebody here. So according to these fundamental rights I am explaining. So they make some here some events. Means they will get settled here, they will get job according to their job or according to their family, they will settle here. So those will be considered as citizens after some years, and they will get citizenship from India. Then they will be Indian citizens. Before getting Indian citizenship they will be non-citizens of India. But according to constitution, according to fundamental law under Article 14 right to equality, the all non-citizens are also equal before the law. So it applies to all persons, naturals as well as juristic. It applies to all persons means all Indian people, either maybe male or female or anything. And to natural means some members will be there, common means, I think poor people also, it will apply to all people. I say no, it is not for only higher people, it is for all people. And as well as juristic means just the lawyers, the peters, we may call them as advocates. So this also applicable for advocates. The main reason that I am explaining these all, that you should know about the fundamental rights as an Indian citizen. That is why I have made this video after a long time. And let's see next one. Second one is right to freedom. I have just say that right to freedom means we have a right to live, just like right to live, but I can say that we can live freely. For example, if you want any job, you can take job and you can make you can work in that company, and you may you can earn salary, you can earn salary. So you have freedom here. In this situation you have freedom to job. So like this you have freedom to this is only known as right to freedom. You have freedom to live. So again, this right to freedom is divided into 6 types. Again, this right to freedom is divided into how many types? 6 types. Those in these 6 types of freedoms are mentioned here. They are freedom of expression. First one is freedom of expression, which means freedom of which is also known as freedom of speech. And second one is freedom of association. Association means here organization. And third one is freedom of trade unions and cooperatives. Freedom of trade unions and cooperatives. Fourth one is freedom of movement. Movement means here struggles and like those. And housing freedom. You have housing freedom. And freedom of work means for job. So these are 6 types of right to freedom. I will explain these one by one now. Freedom of expression means freedom of speech. The government guarantees freedom of speech for all people in India. That means all people can speak freely. They can speak freedom with freedom. This is only known as freedom of expression. Freedom of expression is nothing but you can speak on your free. That means you can speak out very freely. You don't have any barricades or restrictions on the speaking of yours. So here the right to this right is the right to express one's opinions or thoughts freely by utilizing any of the different modes of communication. Here different modes of communication means you may think that what are the modes of communication. So modes of communication is nothing but by sign language or by speaking by words language. Here sign language means some members will be there, those are dumb by born, so those members can speak freely, that means freedomly. Here the meaning is that they also equal, they also have equal right to freedom of expression. Here according to this people can speak out freely. So the what is the final point is the freedom of expression says only one thing. Just remember one thing, that if you remember you have right to speak, that is only freedom of expression, that's it. Let's see next one, freedom of association. The government guarantees the freedom of everyone to assemble peacefully without weapons. Means the government guarantees the freedom, that means without any weapons they can live. For example, if you compare the situations from 1925 or 1930 and now 2020, you may observe some changes, a lot of changes. In those we have to see only one thing, according to our situation at that time, if anybody have any weapon, they are powerful. But now uh, they if they have any weapon or they not have any weapon, they will be powerful. Means here we have to see equality, not powerful. So if they have weapons, they are free at that time. But now if even though they don't have any weapon, they are free now. That means all are free, who have weapons or who haven't weapons, all are equal before constitution. However, as noted above, reasonable restrictions may be placed on the sovereignty, integrity and interests of the state's public order. So here here according to some situations, freedom of association can also be misused by people. Means according to this, some members make murders and something crimes. So at that situation, the constitution have mentioned in another articles that they can be punished by IPC section. So this is the freedom of association. Let's see next one. Third type is freedom of trade unions and cooperatives. Here the state can also impose sanctions on integrity, security, friendly relations with foreign countries, public order, slander and crime in the country. That means here this state can also impose sanctions, means the state have right to sanction security, friendly relations and those. So here this law gives workers a right to form trade unions. For example, we have trade union, for example UTF. So it is a union. So what is union means? Group of members. Okay, union means here some trade unions are there. For example, if some workers work in the Vizag steel plant or Karnataka solar mines, they have some unions. So they have right to make unions. So that is only freedom of trade unions and cooperatives. That's it. Freedom of movement. Next is freedom of movement. Indian citizens can vote freely in India. Vote freely in India. This right can also be limited to protect security, public order, proposed tribal interests. So here tribal interest means not tribal people, tribal interest means some specific interests. So here freedom of movement states us that every citizen of India have the equal right to walk on the road. That means every citizen is equal on the road and in front of the constitution according to this freedom of movement. So freedom of movement simply that we have right to walk on road. That means we have a right to walk outside. That means we have right to movement and we can make movements according to ourselves, means according to ours we can according to this, not ours, according to freedom of movement we can make some movements and struggles also, but it should be done by the permission of the government. For example, if you want to conduct any struggle or any strike, you have to take permission from the government according to this freedom of movement. So let's see next one. Freedom of housing. The citizens of India have the right to live in any part of the country. That means here freedom of housing is nothing but you can live in any part of the country in India. That means anybody not have any right to ask you why you live in this part. So you have the freedom, full freedom to live in any place and any part of the India. So in fact restrictions can be imposed to protect security, public order or the interests of the proposed tribe. So here proposed tribe means in any particular situation if you make any crime, that means if you make any crime and if you occupy the house illegally, then the government has the right to punish you. So next one is freedom of work. All citizens are entitled to employment, continuing trade regardless of whether the trade or work is illegal or immoral. That means all citizens are entitled to employment, means they are eligible for employment. All people are equal at the work, and that means the work should be shared. That means work should be distributed among the people very equally in free and fair manner. It should be done. So according to this freedom of work it can be possible. And next one is if any illegal activity took place in this work, in any work, then they have right to appeal to court. That is only freedom of work. Let's see next one. Next one is right to exploitation. Right to exploitation, this is the third fundamental right. Until now we have seen we have I have described you about 6 subtypes of second fundamental law. Now third fundamental law is right to exploitation. The right against exploitation prohibits all types of forced labor, child labor and trafficking of people. Right to exploitation means you know that miners should not work at any mines and any work. So that is only described under this right to exploitation. Means here every student should be go to school. That means it is described in education, but according to our situation I am explaining you that every one who is located in India, if he is child, every child in India should not go to any work until he attain until he attain the age of 14 years. So this right is described under two articles. Here two articles majorly it is described, article number 23 and article number 24. Remember these numbers guys. And next article 23, I want to say you article 23, article 24 is not necessary for us. Article 23-1 describes trafficking of human beings, especially beggars, forced labor as illegal and punishable under law. Means some members will be there, they kidnap children and make them as beggars and labor. So it is illegal according to this right to exploitation. And article number 23/2 describes the state can impose compulsory service for public purposes and the state cannot discriminate people on the basis of religion, race, caste and creed. So here the state can impose compulsory service. Compulsory service means they should allocate some commissions to they have to order some commissions to make service, and the state have right to stop these child labor works. So these are mentioned in right to exploitation, fundamental right. Let's see fourth one. Fourth one is right to freedom of religion. So religion, I think many religion people are living in India. So here, freedom of religion means you have freedom to practice your religion's God. For example, if you are Shaivas, you can make practice of Shiva. Means you have freedom to make it. This is mentioned here. That means this right is given to the citizens under the Article 25 to 28 of Part 3 of the Indian Constitution. So we have described that fundamental rights are mentioned in Part 3. So in that Part 3 only, between 25 to 28 article, this right to freedom of religion is mentioned. This right eliminates God from matters of state and makes sure that no one is discriminated based on their religion. Matters of state and make sure that no one is designated based on their religion and caste. Means according to their caste and religion, the right eliminates God from matters of state. Means this can help to stop clashes between religions. Mainly this stops the that means religion and caste are not matter here. That means that God is equal among all the people. Okay, let's see third one. Each and every individual has a right to freedom of religion. That means every individual means here single person, individual person has a right to freedom of his religion, his or her religion. He or she can practice their own religion without troubling others. Means without troubling others, and that means without troubling other religions and other people among surrounding around them. So those he or she can make practice of the religion. So this is mentioned under right to freedom of religion. Let's see next one. Next one is fundamental number 5 is cultural and educational rights. Cultural and educational right means the right of all sections of society and saves their culture, script or language. Cultural and educational right means the right of all sections of society that saves culture and script or language. Means the society people can save, that means can save their culture. They have to save their culture. Script means some scripts will be there. For example, historian scripts and cultural scripts will be there. So they have to save them. They have a right to save them. So that is mentioned under cultural and educational rights. Right to cultural and educational rights preserves under article number 29 and 30. Article 30 of Indian Constitution further states that all minority communities have the right to start and run educational institutions on their choice. Means according to article number 29 and 30, every citizen in India have right to start a school. That means to run educational institutions on their own. According to the cultural and education right, this is possible and this is mentioned under this right. Here, this article also states that no countryman shall be deprived of admission into any state-run or aided educational institution on grounds of race, caste, creed, language, etc. According to this point, we can conclude that all are equal before study. Okay, all are equal before study. Means the admission should be given to him compulsory in any school. Means they have to not show any discrimination according to caste or according to religion or according to language. So this is cultural and educational rights. Let's see last one and sixth one is right to constitutional remedies. So first point, let's see. It entitles the citizen of India to move the Supreme Court or High Courts for the enforcement of these rights. So according to these rights, the people of India have a right to go to Supreme Court or High Courts and appeal their cases. Second point is the state is not allowed for making any law that may conflict the fundamental rights. So this is the main point which is very useful to us, that the state is not allowed for making any law. Means state don't have any permission or any don't have any what is that, any right to make changes to fundamental rights. Now I have disturbed all the fundamental rights. In these fundamental rights, the state is included. That means some special powers are there for states, but there is no power to change these rights by state. So here, just central government can change. That means the parliament, which is there, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So these only have rights to make changes in constitution mainly. Here, these rights are mentioned under articles 12 to 35 of the Indian Constitution. From 12 to 35, these constitutional remedies are mentioned. That means these fundamental rights are mentioned. Let's see last point and conclusion point is, there are predefined punishments in case of violation of these rights upon the desiteration of the judiciary. That means predefined punishments. I think you know about IPC section. IPC means Indian Penal Code. According to IPC section, there are more than 300 predefined punishments. According to the case or according to that civil offense or criminal offense, there are predefined punishments. According to these constitutional remedies and according to IPC, there are predefined punishments for the violations of any thing. So this is the conclusion part of fundamental rights. So these are 6 type of fundamental rights, and I have explained very perfectly. I hope that I have explained you in perfect manner. So I am giving you one task, that just asking you that I want to know one thing: which of the fundamental right you like now? Which of the fundamental right you will like now? Means just comment the fundamental right name, not sub fundamental right. Just type, for example, if you like this cultural and educational right, then you just comment the name cultural and educational right. So please comment how is my video, and don't forget to comment your favorite fundamental right. So this is today's video, and if you want any videos about any particular topic, please comment your topic as soon as possible. I will make the video according to your topic, means on your topic. Thank you for watching my video, and please subscribe HKR Knowledge and share this video so that this will reach many people and we can make them very powerful in knowledge. Thank you for watching this video. I will meet you in next video. Bye bye.